Welcome everyone, today we have a new endgame build for the Necromancer in Season 2. Now looking behind me, we're testing this build on a tier 100 dungeon, and after thorough testing of many tier 100 dungeons, I think I have gotten a very powerful Necromancer build which consists with a lot of unique items and also lots of flexibility. Now as you can see in the replay behind me, we have pretty much permanent shield with the Bone Storm, and we have very low cooldowns, and our durability, our damage is insanely powerful in all the contents for the endgame for Diablo 4. So briefly going through the summarize of the build as we watch the replay. This build is quite mobile in terms that you can run through the monsters. Because I'm constantly getting cooldown reduction as I dash into monsters for my Bone Storm, I always have a barrier up, and this allows me to go through the content, go through the dungeons and speed farm my glyph, or just, go through monsters. Most of the time I tend to find with Necromancer is that if you don't clear all the monsters, you tend to get caught up and you tend to be a little weaker. But this way, with the Bone Storm active pretty much all the time, you can lower your cooldowns, you can deal tons of damage as you group them up, and you pretty much have constant fortify and also constant shield. The damage for the build is definitely top notch, and this is one of the best builds in terms of facing multiple enemies. Even when we're facing single target enemies, we still does tons of damage, as you can see over here. Now let's fast forwarding to the boss of the tier 100 dungeon. Usually with most of the bosses, the Necromancer do have a little weaker, damage at the start before your damage wraps up. But the focus of this build is that we actually does tons of damage after enemy become injured and after enemy becomes staggered. And we do have multiple ways of staggering the boss and also deal tons of damage because of a unique helmet. So what I want to show you guys is, yes, it takes us maybe 10-20 seconds to kill the boss, but the moment you get the boss down to 35 below HP, it dies rapidly fast. And this build is very powerful for solo or group play for the Necromancer. Now if we come over to my Necromancer build over here, you can see that this build is an upgraded all unique build for the Necromancer, and I have tested all the uber unique items for this build. And if you want to go through the notes over here, everything I've tested, what is the best in slot, what is the combination with those items, I try to explain this a bit over here. And I'll be updating this particular guide together with this video. Now because we're adjusting and also optimizing my current build for the Necromancer, you might have seen some previous gears and also combinations of the gears, and I have made some updates. So for this part of the video, I won't focus on each of the gears because you can see the gears and also choice of legendaries and also uniques over here, and you can see their stats requirement. So what I'm doing now is I'm trying to provide you guys with a little bit update of testing with the uber unique items, what is going to be the best in slot, and also I'll provide you guys with some of the adjustment and also the reasons behind it, like the flicker step. So if we come over to my character over here, so what I want to show you guys is, yes, the build after testing, currently the best in slot for damage is going to be the Godslayer Crown for the Necromancer before you get the Harlequin's Quest. Once you get the Harlequin's Quest, even though you don't gain the burst damage of 60%, you don't gain the crowd control or the damage bonus, you actually do gain a bit of damage coming from the +4 skill ranks and also lots of utility in terms of the lower cooldowns. So just to show you guys, the Blood Mist is on 15 seconds, and here the Blood Mist goes to about 14 seconds because of the +4 skill ranks. But in terms of the damage, I think Godslayer Crown is very good for damage, but it is a little squishy. So in terms of the uber uniques, the best one in slot will still be the Harlequin's Quest. But during the testing videos, I have been using the Godslayer Crown and we have no problem. And I'll show you guys a small replay later to see that using the Harlequin's Quest, you do become a little more durable, and I can opt in for more damage because of this. Now, funny enough, for a build, we actually don't really have to use the Doombringer, even though it's a uber unique, because the Black Raven is so much more powerful. And the +4 skill ranks to Corpse Explosion, and also all the passives, and also the special effect is just too good. And this is actually way better in terms of damage over the Doombringer. Now, I have not really tested the other uber unique items because they don't fit the build, but in the future, I'll make a Necromancer build that combines all the uber uniques. One of the bigger adjustments for the build, if you have seen a previous build, is that I have started to use the flicker step. This is one of the, the centerpiece that makes us more durable in terms of damage reduction give us all stats, movement speed, and also tons of ultimate skill damage. So how this works is that if you dash into enemies, you'll be able to lower your cooldowns by a lot. So basically, let me show you guys my cooldowns for my Bone Storm. And I think this is one of the highlights. You can see my Bone Storm goes to almost no cooldown after 2 dashes. As your normal attack, you'll also be lowering your cooldowns. And together with your Decryptor 5, your Bone Storm pretty much have no cooldown. And this is a really good combination. I've seen players using the Bone Storm extended for 10 seconds, but compared to that, I think the dash ability with the flicker step is way more utility and also way more lower cooldowns for most of the fights. And yeah, look at my dash cooldowns, it's actually incredible. If I dash into multiple enemies, all of a sudden I have no cooldown, and this allows us to pretty much reset Bone Storm. Now finally, one of the testings I have done is that whether I should go with the Lidless Wall. Now I have done a testing replay with tier 100 with using a Lidless Wall. It does do more damage, but on the downside is you're a little squishy because you're losing one defensive aspects. But I'll have that replay available for you guys to have a look as well. I actually ran this entire Nightmare Dungeon within 3 minutes because the ability to just go fast, and this was actually a really fast run. So in terms of the damage, I do think that you can deal more damage with the Lidless Wall. And it is possible when you face the boss, you can swap in the item, and this allows you to do more damage in combination of the existing items. Now in terms of the Vampiric powers, I have realized that there is a very nice way of combining my Vampiric powers. So most of the powers are very similar, the damage over time, the ultimate lowest cooldowns, and also the vulnerability to enemies, and also the spreading of the Vampiric curse. One of the utility 1 power I'm using is that if I'm running a tier 100 or tier 90 plus dungeon, I'll have the increase in Fortify. But on the other hand, if I'm going with more damage against the boss, I can easily replace those two. Notice that your Vampiric packs is actually enough for those two. So you can actually swap between the 2 powers, and this allows you to either have a bonus of attack speed with a lucky hit proc, or you can go with Fortified for this build for more defensive purpose. So this build allows you to go for offensive in terms of attack speed or defensive in terms of Fortify. And the best thing about this is you can easily swap the two whenever you need them without changing your gears and all your stats. Now briefly going through the Book of the Dead. Similarly, you can be changing the Book of Dead from critical chance with all resistance. I have opted in for all resistance because I no longer want to build too much into critical damage for the build. The damage over time, I don't think they're critical hit, and the other critical hits, they're not that major for power. So I went for all resist. This way I can go for armors on my accessory slots to gain tons of armor because of this. Together with the shield, we actually gain way more armor and become more tanky for tier 100. Now in terms of the skeleton mages, we get the vulnerability damage because that's the best one. And finally for the blood golems, or the golems, I'm getting increased life. Yes, again I can go with the critical strike damage, but we're really not doing too much critical chance, and we're really not critting a lot because of that. So here I'm getting more life and becoming more durable, so I can easily clear most of the content without having worry about my durability. Now briefly going through some of the adjustments for the skill trees. Most of them are very similar, so one of the bigger adjustments I had over here is that I have opted to get 3 points into increasing Fortify when you spawn in corpses. And what I removed is, I've removed the 14 or the 12% attack speed while you're healthy. Because I don't think we need that much healthy attack speed, and the bonus attack speed we have tons of that. So I don't think I need this. I'd rather to have more Fortified, and together with my socket gems, I'll have more damage reduction while Fortified when doing tier 100 dungeons. Now in terms of the Paragon, most of the things are pretty straightforward, and I updated the Paragon board for you guys. I have opted for getting more armor for the build, just to become a little more durable. You can see there are a few armor perks over here. And finally, you can see we do a little more damage against healthy enemies, but most of the time we're doing more damage against injured enemies, and this allows us to do more damage at the start of the fight and also at the end of the fight. Now briefly going through my replays and also the rotation of the skills. One thing I want to highlight, if you do have the increased lucky hit chance potion, that is very good for this build. So I actually had a lot of those potions, and I started using them to farm it a little better. So whenever you start a fight, you can be casting Bone Storm. and you can use your Blood Mist for mobility, you can use that for defensive or offensive purpose. Notice that I'm dashing into enemies a lot, and this allows me to lower my cooldowns with Flicker Step. Now, in the case that you're out of cooldowns, you do want to wait a little bit before you engage in enemies. And this time I was a little careless, because I know that if I dash into enemies, I will be able to lower my cooldowns. And this together with Decrypify means you're pretty much invulnerable, because you have pretty much resets of cooldowns with Blood Mist. You also have very low or no cooldowns with your Bone Storm. You just have to aim yourself and dash into enemies. Once you dash into a number of enemies, your cooldowns just get reset on the Bone Storm. So this is a very powerful build in terms of increased damage from the Bone Storm and also durability and also, utility. Now during the testing rounds, I was actually a little careless. So here I want to highlight with you guys, even though we're very mobile, you do not want to engage your enemies when you have no cooldowns and also no Bone Storm. So here my Bone Storm bonus armor or bonus barrier went away, and I was not fortified. Together, I did not have my Blood Mist, but I still wanted to go into enemies. So here I made a mistake that I keep running, right? I should be casting Decrypified, and I should not be engaging enemies that stage of the game without cooldowns. And just as you guys are gonna see very soon, I actually killed myself because of that. So notice that even though I had a Blood Mist, my Bone Storm was knocked up. So make sure you dash into enemies to lower the cooldowns of your Bone Storm. And don't make the mistakes I did. Even though the build is very durable, very tanky and lots of damage, you can still make some careless mistakes in the fight, because tier 1 dungeons, they still hit a lot harder, especially those range monsters. Now on the chance you guys want to get a little more damage. So over here the shield I'm using is not the perfect shield, because 2 of the FX were run and I couldn't find a better shield. On the chance you guys want to do more damage and you don't really need a barrier coming from Bone Storm, you can come over here and use the Lidless Wall. I have a replay over here to provide you guys to show you guys this actually does a lot more damage. Because together with a Flicker Step and also Lidless Wall, you'll be doing tons of damage for multiple spawns of your ultimate. And it's great in terms of offensiveness. You are a little more durable, and that is the downside. But if you guys want to speedrun Nightmare Dungeons, this is a really good alternative if you build into the Lidless Wall together with the Flicker Step. Now I have done some other testings using the Focus, using the Wand, and I don't think they're the best. So currently I really prefer having the shield for the Necromancer for tier 100 dungeons. And I can either go for the normal shield that provides me with a barrier, or I can go with a little sword to provide me with a little more damage. In terms of the other gears, I moved the Blood Mist onto the chest armor, and I'm only using the increased armor. Everything else will focus on the unique items to give us more utility and also more adjustments for special abilities. So what I do now is I'll provide you guys with 2 different replays of tier 100 run. The first replay is when you have the Lidless Wall. So this is only a 3-minute replay of me clearing through the tier 100 dungeons. The second replay will be a replay without the Lidless Wall, but with the Bone Storm barrier. This shows you that I'm much more durable, and it might be a little slow to clear the dungeons, but you're much more safer with permanent barriers.
I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. I need more time. I'm not ready yet. I need more time. I need more time. I'm not ready yet. I need more time. I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. I need more time. I need more time. I need more time.
If you guys haven't subscribed, it is a really good time to do so, because I'll be covering tons of Diablo 4 related topics and also videos and also guides. We'll be looking to the top meta builds, non-meta builds, leveling up, and also Paragon tricks. We're also looking to the latest events and also official updates and also changes to different characters and also different builds in the game. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and also turn the notification on, because a lot of you who are watching the videos have not subscribed. You can see 80% of the viewers who are watching our videos have not subscribed, so make sure you subscribe to stay tuned for the latest update for Diablo 4.